Now today we're going to focus on plants and how we can classify plants, specifically vascular and non-vascular plants. So here's a pretty silly question. Do you like oxygen? I sure hope so. I do. Because I like to be able to breathe fresh air. So give it up for oxygen. If you love breathing oxygen, you've got to love plants. Why? Because plants are what give us our oxygen. Without plants, there would be no you, no me, no life on Earth. So what makes a plant? There are a couple of things that make plants plants. They're multi-celled organisms, so they're made up of a lot of cells, and they use photosynthesis to create energy. So the plant kingdom itself is divided up into two major groups, and those groups are vascular plants and non-vascular plants. And here are two examples. This top example is a non-vascular plant, and the bottom example is a vascular plant. So what's the difference? Vascular plants have a vascular system that carries water and nutrients all over the plant, kind of like humans have a vascular system that carries our blood all over our body. So these tubes that make up the vascular system of a plant extend from the roots of the plant out to the leaves. Having this vascular system allows vascular plants to grow very tall, as we've seen with trees. Trees tend to grow very tall. And here's an example of the vascular system. You see the water and the minerals moving up the plant, the carb and oxygen going out, carbon dioxide and sugar going down the plant to the roots and out into the soil. And that sugar is created here in the leaves by the photosynthesis process from water and light. So let's look at non-vascular plants first. Let's take a look at these plants. What do you notice about them? We should notice that they grow really, really close to the ground. And there's a reason for that. They do not have that vascular system that carries water and nutrients around their bodies. Instead, as you can see in this image, they have something called pores. They have to grow close to the ground to stay near the moisture, which they usually absorb through their leaves, through these pores. So they absorb water and moisture like a sponge from their environment. They do not have roots. Non-vascular plants do not have roots. If you've ever seen moss growing on a tree or a rock out in the woods, and if you've ever peeled it off, you'll have seen that that moss didn't have any roots connecting it to anything. So here's an example. Would this be vascular or non-vascular? If you said non-vascular, you would be correct because it's growing very close to the ground. It's clinging to that rock and absorbing water through its environment. What about this tree? If you said vascular, you would be correct. It has a vascular system of those tubes carrying water from its roots throughout the rest of its body, and it's grown tall. What do you think about this one? This is also a non-vascular plant, growing close to the ground and absorbing water from its environment. What about these? That's right, they are vascular plants. They grow tall and have a vascular system to carry the water from the roots to the rest of its body. So let's see. Of course, not us. The plants. How do they create energy? like I mentioned earlier, through photosynthesis. But what is that? How does it work? So photosynthesis literally means putting together with light. Plants make their energy using three things: sunlight, carbon dioxide, and water. So here's an image showing how it works. Plants collect sunlight and carbon dioxide with their leaves and water with their roots. They have this special stuff in their cells called chlorophyll that combines that stuff to make energy. That chlorophyll can be found in the chloroplasts that we just talked about. Plants release oxygen as waste, which is something we really enjoy. We really like plant waste because we